The wildest part about Cleetus McFarland's NASCAR journey right now isn't that he struggled. It's that just when it looked like he was getting closer to proving himself, everything suddenly stopped. Because after all the hype, all the attention, and that massive spotlight following him into NASCAR, Cleetus McFarland is officially out of the Texas race. And the reason why? It says a lot more about NASCAR than most people realize. This is where things take a serious turn. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe, because on NASCAR Nation News, we break down the stories that actually matter, not just the headlines everyone else repeats. Now here's what's really going on. Cleetus McFarland came into NASCAR as one of the most unexpected names we've seen in a long time. A YouTuber, a content creator, someone known for wild builds and crazy events, not for grinding through the traditional racing ladder. And yet, he made it onto the track. That alone got people talking. Some fans loved it. They saw it as fresh energy, something new for the sport. Others weren't so convinced. They questioned whether he truly belonged at this level, especially when it came to high-speed, high-pressure racing environments. Then came Rockingham. This was one of Cleetus's biggest chances to prove he wasn't just a viral name, that he could actually compete. But instead of a breakout performance, things went the opposite direction. He struggled to keep pace. At multiple points during the race, he looked out of sync with the field. The speed just wasn't there. The consistency wasn't there either. And by the time the race ended, he finished deep in the pack, far from where he needed to be if he wanted to silence the doubters. And here's the thing, NASCAR noticed. This wasn't just another rough race. This was a moment where the gap between hype and reality became very clear. Because right after that, the decision came in. Cleetus McFarland would not be allowed to race at Texas. Now on the surface, that might just sound like a simple replacement. But when you look deeper, it's much bigger than that. Texas Motor Speedway is a 1.5-mile track. High speeds, tight margins, very little room for error. And NASCAR made it clear, they're not ready to put Cleetus in that environment. That's not a small decision. That's NASCAR essentially saying right now, you're not ready for this level. And just like that, he was out. In his place, a completely different kind of driver. Austin Dillon. This is where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. Dillon isn't just experienced, he's proven, especially at Texas. He knows how to manage the track, how to handle the pressure, and most importantly, how to stay competitive over a full race. So instead of taking a risk on a developing driver like Cleetus, the team went with the safe option, the reliable option, the kind of driver you trust when everything is on the line. And that decision tells you everything about where Cleetus stands right now. Because this isn't just about one race, this is about trust. Right now, NASCAR doesn't fully trust him in high-speed conditions. Not yet. And until he proves he can handle that, these opportunities are going to stay limited. That's the reality. Now, to be fair, this doesn't mean his journey is over. In fact, it might just be getting started, because from everything we're seeing, this looks more like a pause than a full stop. Cleetus is expected to return on a shorter track, something more manageable, something where the risk level is lower and the focus shifts more toward control than raw speed. And honestly, that might be exactly what he needs, because right now, the biggest question isn't whether he can draw attention. We already know he can. The real question is whether he can adapt. Can he take the criticism, the setbacks, the pressure, and actually improve? Can he close that gap between being a popular name and being a legitimate competitor? That's what this next phase is going to decide. And let's be real, this situation could go either way. On one side, this could be the moment that exposes the limits. The point where NASCAR says, we gave it a shot, but it's not working. But on the other side, This could be the turning point, the moment where everything slows down, resets, and Cleetus finally starts building the kind of experience he needs to compete at this level. Because no matter how you look at it, jumping into NASCAR is not easy. This isn't YouTube anymore. This isn't about entertainment. It's about precision, discipline, and performance under pressure. And right now, Cleetus is learning that the hard way. But that doesn't mean he's done. It just means the road ahead got a lot tougher. And honestly, that might be the most interesting part of this entire story. Because now, the hype is gone. Now, it's all about results. So the next time he gets behind the wheel, it won't just be another race. It'll be a statement, a chance to prove that he belongs, or a moment that confirms what NASCAR is already starting to believe. And that's exactly why everyone will be watching.